would start calling that stuff like indie.
She's like looked at because she's part of that.
Everybody already
and like which I personally wouldn't
whatever.
disagree for like what we dictate as folk alternative.
The word got out about me and Laura.
But like
her and Jim Kilroy.
Like, I also think, man.
Oh shit.
You gotta stop being salty about that.
About being
like
punk.
over there.
But like telling a kid that,
once
like, they're not going to understand that.
You still
they have a hard time just registering.
I don't owe him shit.
You're still paying back your debt.
You know what I mean?
You know what I
So it's crazy because
Okay.
they already have an idea of what
If
indie
I had to
folk
think of
should
a
be.
fucking somebody, it would be like the boss from Office Space.
Yeah.
But with a beard and like an Elvis Presley wig
What?
on.
Oh
And
my
he's like,
God.
alright, baby. Yeah.
Alright, Laura.
But in that Jim Kilroy, yeah, alright. Today, yeah.
Alright, Laura.
Alright.
Am I hurting you, baby? I don't even feel it.
Because like, I've tried to like engage in conversation with him for like 17 years, and it just goes flat every time.
That's his personality.
So how's the bar going? Going good.
When are you like officially
We have a new menu. I don't owe him any debts. He pays me
He
money
owes
to play.
you.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, I thought Kilroy owes everybody
I'm
else
not his
money.
ex-wife.
No.
She owed everybody.
Remember when he put you on Freaker's Ball? Remember?
You're an
You
asshole,
didn't put me
Corey.
on there.
I know.
You won that spot.
Oh, she won it all right.
This is what I'm talking about.
A teaser, but that's what people say.
They say all kinds
Because,
of mean shit
well,
about
and it's not just about her. It's any time if you're a girl
Yeah.
in the music scene and you get a great opportunity, yeah, it's obvious. Not
You suck somebody's dick.
you suck someone's
Somebody-
dick.
somebody
Or,
got
Well, Corey, you know who the judges were for the finals?
no, I
Us
don't.
voodoo guys.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, it was me, Greg, Luke, and Brent were the
Yeah,
judges
but we
for
brought
that.
it up.
Your
You
friend,
did bring it.
your
I
best
did.
friend.
But I didn't know they were judges.
Oh.
I voted against them. I thought they were trash.
Well,
Hey.
Well, no, like something
True friendship.
Right?
Did 1 year
comes. Racing through the fields, my brother and I. Catalog on the gas, we sure can fly. Bottomed out the Terrorstat's F-100. He's gonna kill us if we can't get it started. We saw flash, we saw lights. Things got clear. We're wrong from right. The building stay. We're all high. South 40 swing. Bonafide black with blue. And we knew we'd been introduced to the black belt truth. Save the rod and replace it with a belt. Jesus right beside us, we made it through this hell. Say what you want, we learned right from wrong. A grocery store tantrum, it only happened once. We saw flash, we saw light, things got clear. Yeah, wrong from right, I built a stake. We're all high, South 40 swing. Yeah, bonafide black with blue. And we knew we'd been introduced to the black belt trail. Dancing on this man and how we always knew. He said this won't hurt me as much as it's gonna hurt you. Clear, yeah, wrong from right. I felt a mistake, we're all high. South 40 swing, bonafide black with blue. Then we knew we'd been introduced to the black belt truth. Come on, how about you, yeah, to the black belt truth. Come on, how about you, yeah, to the black belt truth. Come on, how about you, yeah, to the black belt truth.
Corey, and along with Frank.
Yep,
he's
I'm
manning-
over here. I'm trying to. Whoop! I pushed the wrong damn button already. This is fun.
Frank just rolled in here. You know, he was running late from work, so he's a little bit flustered. But we'll get everything going. So here it is, another week for Project Slam Radio here at Aftershock.
You're still trying to say the old name, aren't you?
I do. It's
We
a
are-
hard habit to break.
We're down here at Aftershock tonight. There's a hell of a show out in the venue.
A great show going on.
Parvenu and
Parvenu, Black
Soul Revival. Or Backwood Soul Revival.
Backwood Soul Revival, a new band that's doing a lot, making a lot of waves, and also a band that we have here in the studio, Short Roads and Dead Ends.
Yeah.
That didn't take long to fuck it up.
No, not at all. That was quick.
Oh shit! I just pulled it up.
You guys must have sat down when you decided to come up with the band name and said, "Let's make this difficult for everybody."
No, you seriously, you want to know how we did it? This is how we did it. We literally picked two names, and then we played a game we like to call odds and evens. And what we do is we took a dice, and we said this name is going to be odds, this name is going to be evens. So we rolled the dice, and
God damn it.
Short Roads and Dead Ends is what came up.
These boys.
And then I joined the band a couple months later.
And
It was the biggest mistake ever.
What I've been doing is I've been toying with your logo and putting using the initials and then putting the AC/DC
I love it.
lightning bolt in there.
Yeah, I love it.
Seaman runs.
Because
and
I really think
douche enough.
Also, we might. First of all, I got to back up.
I have no fucking
Let's
clue.
introduce this band. It features a bunch of people that you probably have
And
maybe heard of.
and unfortunately, they're where we have no camera right now because we're missing a camera. So yeah, just
Well, you
swing
know
right
what?
here. There's one right here, and there's one
How
right
about I
there.
give them my
yeah, here.
camera for now?
And
Just move on.
I'll turn that one on.
So Paul, Paul, both of these guys, Paul and Rory, who make up two of the five members, have been around forever.
Speaking of, real quick, I have to get this out of the way or I'm going to get killed. My son Joey wants to talk to you about your 3D stuff you do with the TV.
I would love to do it, man.
So,
That's
but anyway,
one of my
back to
favorite
this.
things in the world.
I
I'm a big
want to
nerd.
make sure.
I love
Don't
it.
let me
Yeah.
forget about that
No,
later.
let's-
Back
no,
to
let's do
this.
it.
Sorry, I had to.
We've already
I had to
been
do
talking
that.
about that earlier. But anyway, so really quick, Paul. Most people that tune in are already familiar with. There are people from the local music scene, but
Yes.
you've been involved in music for a while, and just really quick, some of the bands you've been in.
Let's see. I spent from 2007 to 2013 in Black Ribbon Sky,
Yeah.
BRS.
That was a hell of a band, by
That
the
was
way.
a great
I miss them.
I enjoyed those years. Then you shut your fucking face over there.
$200,000 fine.
Yay, internet!
Good thing we're internet.
We can talk. We're on the same page then. Then let's see, Monsters of Tokyo with some of the guys from
That
Musical
was a fun band.
Blades
Another great band.
and Audio Combat Arsenal and all that shit. And then let's see, Coitus for the past few years.
That band sucked.
I know they were assholes, and they
were
wrote
good.
shitty music that people couldn't dance to. And then now,
Move to your left
oh.
a little bit.
Oh yeah, because you are.
There you go.
hey, there
You're
I am.
in there.
You got a nice shot of my monitor
hey.
that I can get out of the way.
Yeah, there you go,
Yeah,
man.
so then Coitus, and then Coitus, we're still together. We're still a band. We're kind of in that spot of if people call us, we'll play a show. But then Rory and Jesse called me one day and were like, "Hey, we got this new thing going, and if you want to come over and jam with us, that'd be cool."
Dude, and seriously, you know how it all started? Is one day we were in this room right here with
Right.
you. And it was, I think, at the Karma Effect
Was that-
reunion.
Yeah,
yeah,
when I
it
got
was.
up- when I was all
and
fucked
you're-
up back here with you
yeah,
guys?
we're all hanging out back here, and we're just talking and doing our thing. And literally, when we come to the point where we're looking for a guitar player, Nick Marshall of all people, he goes, "Dude, call Paul Lichtenhauer." I was like, "Yeah, let's do that. Let's call Paul Lichtenhauer, man." And you came over and he auditioned, and he killed it, man. We were like, "Yeah, let's get
It
him."
also helped that I spent like 8 hours listening to the music prior, mastering the first demos, so I knew the shit when I walked in.
It's funny because you couldn't have picked a nicer guy.
Oh, absolutely.
My
I'm an
family-
asshole. What are you
My
talking
family,
about?
and I mean my family, including my wife and my son, we're very fond of this crazy guy here.
Oh, he's a great guy.
We know him as the school counselor for
Oh, dude.
elementary children.
You know what's even crazier is my wife. My wife also is a teacher in the same school district
Right.
as him. So I'm like, okay, all right. My wife is known as the hot teacher.
That's awesome.
And I'm the
apparently,
cool
so-
teacher.
and he's the
who
cool
they all
teacher.
Go to after they fuck
So, yeah.
up in the high school.
Yeah, the alternative school.
Yeah, I'm at the alternative school.
No,
He
that's
teaches all the
awesome.
bad kids.
Now, really quick, Rory,
Yeah.
everybody, most people tuning in are already going to know your background, but really quick, give me your background, some of the bands that you've been in.
Well,
All the way back to the underground.
dude, I will, man. Me
Yeah.
back in the day when I was in high school, me and Nick Marshall out there, Cowardly Lions. By the way, check them out.
Right.
Man,
I will say,
even remember that band. I'm old.
dude. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it had to be 2005 or maybe even sooner than that. Maybe 2003.
Yeah, that was like old Barry Music.
it was-
What was
yeah.
it? Barry Music Studio down there,
man.
36th and
Yeah,
Main?
yeah, long way back. So.
Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah, we did. We had a band called Underground. You can find a couple things out there. We were kind of grungy, newer grungy rock kind of stuff. And then
I
that
used to do a killer Tool sober cover.
yeah, we did. There's a video on YouTube somewhere.
I
So.
remember seeing that shit down at the G spot back in the day.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, the G spot.
Dude, down on Southwest Traffic Way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hardest place to find.
Dude, it was.
Now called Rhythm and Booze, still a killer bar.
Still a killer bar for sure to this day. So that evolved into the Karma Effect. That lasted for quite a long time. We did a record and just stuck on that for quite a while. And eventually we got a hold of Tyler Lyon. Leo Project kind of did its course, and we came together to be Evelyn Awake. And Evelyn Awake lasted for 7 years, and we're still kind of doing some stuff.
Every now and then it seems like you
Well,
guys
and
pop out.
I seen Tyler today, man, and we talked a little bit about maybe doing a few new songs here and there. Maybe doing a few things. So you might still see Evelyn Awake pop up here and there.
isn't
and I
that
wouldn't be
cool?
opposed to that.
No,
in
and
all
going
honesty.
back to even like Coitus, because every now and then
Oh, yeah.
I hit them up and I bring them out as Coitus. And so
Oh,
isn't
yeah,
that
dude.
cool? Like guys like you,
Dude, it really is, man.
You can have your current project, but then revisit something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel, I took such a break when Evelyn Awake, we kind of did our hiatus, our split, and we kind of did our thing for a little while. I took such a break from the creative side of things, and now that I've just kind of decided to come back into this, we did that show, the Karma Effect reunion, and I pitched that idea. I said, man, Jesse, let's do another record. Let's just do a record for fun, right? And eventually, it kind of evolved into what this is right now, Short Roads and Dead Ends. And
to bring everybody up to speed,
Yeah.
Jesse was in Karma Effect.
yeah, Jesse Jones, man, he was the original bass player from the Karma Effect, and we hit it hard for many
Bad
years.
effort there.
I remember that boy for his beautiful hair,
Oh,
his
dude.
kilt, and
The
his
kilt,
boots.
the kilt. We're trying to
the
talk
kilt.
him back into the kilt, man.
See, and what's funny is we all got to know each other back in 2008.
Oh, yeah. Well, a
something
long
like
time
that,
ago.
when
We were playing shows.
Karma Effect and BRS were recording our CDs with the same producer
Same
at the
producer.
same time.
Yep. Same
That's
basement studio out there in
Yeah.
Independence, which actually, oddly enough, is right around the corner from where we practice right now, where Jesse lives. So we're back. It's full circle.
And I love that, and it's not to say anything about like what's been going on in the music scene just over the last 2 to 3 years, but man, like when we start talking about all these bands, man, it really brings back like fond memories.
Oh,
for me.
man.
I was just talking to Rick Allen on
Oh,
Facebook.
Changing Face.
Oh, love
my
him.
favorite.
One of the
no
best
matter what
bands.
singer they brought out.
No,
Except
man.
there was that time that they had the one dude in between Danny something.
I don't remember
know.
that.
I wasn't there was a spot in between Rick and Marty singing and Kara joining the band where it was kind of weird. But it still kicked ass, but
Dude,
it was kind of weird.
It was still Changing Face.
Yeah, it
man.
was still
Changing
it was
Face as
still
a core
Rick
was
and
they're
Greg
just
and
amazing.
Marty
No,
and
they're a great
JJ
band.
and whoever else was in there at whatever time.
What the internet has changed changed music and the music business so much.
Positive and negative.
Positive and
Yeah.
negative, but someone that I grew up. A lot of the O'Maras were musicians, and so I seen growing up, my uncles would jump in and jump out. They'd jump in and go with music until they burnt themselves out.
Yeah.
And then they would profess to the family they were done. They would sell their equipment.
Oh, yeah.
But the ongoing joke behind all my uncles' backs is we all knew they never were. They would sell their equipment, and then they always got the itch, the
No.
bug.
It
And
never
they would
goes
jump
away.
Oh,
back
that's the
in.
most expensive thing to do.
Oh, dude.
Yes. And
I
what's-
sold my 7-string like 10 years
Dude.
ago, and then I joined up with these guys. They're like, "Yeah, we started writing shit in A." I'm like, Damn it!
Right. You know,
So now I own a 7-string.
Go to Guitar Center right now.
so
Nah, fucking Sweetwater, man.
Yeah, Sweetwater, whatever.
Yeah, Sweetwater.
Buy a guitar. You should buy a
Guitar Center,
guitar.
they even they're slowly closing everything.
I buy my strings from them.
but
Last
you-
time I was there was like nothing there. But anyway, that's a
It
whole
doesn't
other
pay
story.
their bills,
but
but I
we
buy
were
my
ta-
strings.
we were talking about this earlier before when these guys they just got done sound checking and before we opened doors we were kind of talking about a lot of musicians that kind of have disappeared over the last few years are starting to reappear, and it makes me so happy, and it's a testimony to where I've always said things go in cycles. Now I have been around this whole time. Frank, you stepped away for a little bit.
I left out for 4 years. I just kind of left it behind. And
Has it
honestly, the first
been
year
that
was
damn
a
long?
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the first year it was like, man, I'm lost.
Yeah.
And the second and third year was kind of like, this is freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, being honest, I mean,
but
it was.
while you were gone, cats like you were gone, I have to admit, no matter what, I count my blessings to be able to do music. But I too felt a little bit lost. But man, it feels so good now to see so many familiar faces jumping back in. Last week we did a Forever Grey reunion.
Oh, yeah, dude.
yeah.
That was
saw
awesome.
that.
We were stuck here in the studio. We
Yeah.
broadcasted during their show, and
You need to change up your fucking schedule.
well,
Jeez.
normally we do it on Thursdays, but lately with my job and things that have been going on, we've had to push days.
It's difficult.
And
Difficult to, hey,
Well-
when you're adulting, man.
But
Yeah.
we also like.
and look, we got to pay the bills before
Yeah.
we worry about our hobbies.
Oh, absolutely.
But I also think last week and this week when we announced that we're going to move the date and broadcast, even during the show, I think the bands get excited because I think it adds an extra element. It makes it a little bit more exciting.
And I get that. It
because-
sounds like Parvenu's on stage right now. Is that who that is? Parvenu? Okay.
So we get to invite the bands in, and we get to interview the bands, and I think that ultimately is what the original concept of this radio show is about. And so for me to broadcast while we are doing a show is a great idea. But really quick,
And
Frank's-
if you give me a platform and free reign of a microphone, you all are fucked.
Oh, good.
well,
It
let
is
me tell
what
you
it
this,
is.
Paul.
Hey,
If we were actually
That's the
FM,
internet. That's a good thing.
if we were actually FM, you would already have racked us up about it.
We were just going to pack it out.
Every time
$250,000.
you speak, the dump button is
Yeah.
guys finger on the dump button.
I just fucking. God damn, even if
I don't have
anyway,
that.
I'm not a
much equipment
teacher.
over
I do
here
not
to
teach
delay
high school.
everything.
God.
A lot of things are going great. So really quick, Frank's giving me we got to go to break. Again, you can find these guys on social media, Short Road and Dead Ends. A lot of familiar faces. Give these guys a like. I predict that 2020, not only for these guys but for just Kansas City music, is going to. It's just going to be a good one. Already a lot of familiar faces resurfacing. And, people over the last few years said rock was dead. But it was just taking a nap. Let's go to break.
Rock is alive.
I'm about ready to do this shit. We used this for 2 hours a fucking week.
Rick says I don't
Was it hard to tell me why you couldn't even look me in my eyes? Don't walk away, don't be afraid. I will show you all these things you've never seen, you've only dreamed of. I will give you what you need.
Hello, or welcome back. Hey guys, boy, Frank,
Yeah. I'm trying to fly this plane. This is
that
only the second
first
time.
segment was just like
That
boy,
was
we-
old school.
we went
That was
live.
old school.
We went live, and we went live.
Yeah, I mean, there was like no pause.
We didn't
Straight
get to
up.
yeah, we didn't get to walk into that one at all, did we?
Also, if you're watching on Facebook through that Facebook Live, the better place to watch if you don't like your music muted during our breaks is on twitch.tv/Project Backstage. Just go over there. They don't mute our music during the breaks. And
Yeah, you know, and it sucks because we spent so much time setting up all
YouTube don't censor us either down on the music.
So much has changed since the last time we did this, but we spent so much time setting everything up to broadcast on all these different platforms. And then YouTube and Facebook, we find out, like, even though we're playing local music and we have permission to play it,
They don't
censor
care.
it.
They don't care. We went back and forth on this ticket thing with Facebook, and this is boring to the listeners. I get that, but they do not care. They sent back, it's automated. Too bad. Deal with it. And
Yeah,
so, okay,
and then-
we'll deal with it. We'll start pushing to another platform.
And then, of course, you can't get a hold of anybody at Facebook when you
No.
want to, like, say, hey, what the hell is up?
You send a response. It takes 48 hours to get a response. You send another response. It's a joke.
So, so heads up, if you're listening in on the Facebook Live, right, they're going to censor the music out in the live music videos. And so if you don't care about that, then fine, stay where you are. Otherwise, jump over on twitch.com.
So I'm going to use this night to talk about something that I know you didn't plan to talk about.
We'll talk about it.
We just had some people come in and made me reminded me of it. This past week we talked about California Dreaming and the return of it.
That's right.
And you finally agreed you're going to bring it back.
Yeah, but here's the deal, is I've got to make it bigger, and I've got to make it better.
And that's what we're going to work towards. And that's why it's not like sign up now. There's
Right.
there's a little bit of a process that's going on.
I think the best year was the year that the finalist, regardless of who won and got to go to California, all the finalists got to play Rocklahoma that year.
Yes.
And so, I feel like that made it worth it. Like, the trip to California.
And honestly, the trip to California was awesome. I mean, Mad Libby is in studio here, and they won one of them. And they got to go to California, play the Whiskey a Go-Go.
That was the year, I believe. They got to play Rocklahoma.
It was like just one, but yeah. But that was the year everyone else went to Rocklahoma. And it was almost debatable once the show was over. It's like, well, really, who won? Because you got Rocklahoma.
Well, Mad
or you
Libby
got
won because
Whiskey
they got
a
to play
Go-Go.
Rocklahoma and go to California.
Exactly. They got both.
Yeah, they got both.
But there was really no loss. If you played the final stage, you got to go play in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, it was fun. And, yeah, I think I took a couple years off my life that Rocklahoma weekend. It was such a Rocklahoma AEG had just taken the festival over, and so they waited to the weekend of to
that was the year that we
throw
met
a bunch
that
of
old
curveballs
guy.
at us, man.
Oh yeah, the Jaeger stage. Is it even still there?
Nope.
Is it gone?
It's gone.
That sucks. That was one of the best places when the festival shut down. You go over. Oh, it was a party.
No,
every
it was
year.
a party. It was a free for all. And you know what was crazy was they waited to the weekend of to tell me, well, and what a bunch of BS.
And they've changed since. Yeah,
Right.
Rocklahoma's actually a lot more organized now than what it was then.
Well, that again, it was the transition from when they took it over, and you remember the headache?
Oh
that
yeah, it was.
weekend?
Well, they all need tickets. Why? They're not going in the festival. They're playing out here in the campgrounds.
Yeah.
The VIP campgrounds that you already made money for.
I remember.
It was.
You guys never bought a ticket?
No, I remember that all.
We just kept getting threatened to get kicked out because we didn't buy a ticket.
No, I mean me and Frank.
So we were like,
You don't know the
hiding in
war
tents.
we
No,
were at.
Right. Me and Frank literally snuck 60 people into Rocklahoma.
She's like, just keep your head down, park over there, do not move your car.
You know how many double cheeseburgers I had to go get from McDonald's for the people at the
Oh,
gate,
yeah.
to bribe them that, hey,
I'm
you don't
sure it
see
was
this car.
astronomical.
I mean,
Sure.
I went into Pryor so many times to bring back food, to bring back anything we can do to get cars past that gate. And it's like, no, they need a pass. Okay. It was
Right.
there was all kinds
It
of
was
backdoor
a
deals that
colossal
year.
pain in the ass.
And I was just having a mental breakdown the whole time. I'm ruined.
Oh, then we had the we that was the year that we stayed in the RV that the Obsidian Boys brought down, and that was great. You know, we had a place to sleep. It was comfortable, except for when Nick decided at night, I'm going to shut off the AC and accidentally turn on the heat. We woke up in pools of sweat because it was so hot. We were literally in an oven.
I probably should have went to
When
the
did we
ER.
turn into soup?
And then you guys loaned us, I think it was a couple years later, your
Yeah.
guys' RV, which that we still got pictures. That was an awesome year. We
Yeah.
thank you again for that.
Although
that
it
was
broke down
awesome.
on the way, remember?
Yeah. Where was that? Joplin?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Who's going to call Mad Libby and tell them, whoops, thanks for letting us use your RV.
It's on the side of the road in Pittsburgh, Kansas.
Well, it ended up being something simple. And luckily, Wayne and Roxy from the band that they were in,
Burning Tide. I almost
Um,
forgot.
came to our rescue. But anyway, I feel like this show is going. We just had Rory and Paul in from
awesome.
their new band, and it's just weird because we were talking about, the music scene has never died, but it kind of took the last few years. It's been weird, and then all of a sudden, like last show we were in here, we were doing a Forever Grey reunion was going on. And then you got like bands like Rory and Paul and those guys are coming back. And Rick Allen, who's listening tonight, has got a new band that's going to be premiering. He commented on one of my posts. Was it today or was it yesterday? My days run together, but that we would all be seeing him a lot in the next coming months, which is exciting, And so, you get these cats that they disappear from the music scene, and you think that you've said goodbye for good, and they get to itch, And you know what? That itch is really what separates the true musicians from
The Weekend Warriors.
the Weekend Warriors,
Oh,
the people that
absolutely.
get in to it because they think it's going to be lifestyles of the rich and famous, and being a musician is harder than it's ever been, ever,
Right.
because no longer do you have. I mean, don't get me wrong. As far as making it goes, sure, some bands make it, and they
But define make it in today's music.
well, and
I
that's
mean,
a
it's
whole,
really-
and that's what I'm alluding to. So really, you're in this now because you can't be in it. Like music is a part of your soul. Like it's art. It's you. You could not do it if that's. I know that's not proper English, and so I see people. And I grew up around musicians. A lot of my uncles on the O'Mara side were musicians, and I was telling Rory and them guys that they would go hard to the point of burning themselves out, and then they would swear it off. And we always knew they weren't done because as quick as they sold their equipment, a couple years later they were jumping back in, and they're still doing it. And I think you guys would probably agree. Jennifer and Dana and Daphne. I call you Daff, but okay, are here from Mad Libby, and I think
We all know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that they are exactly who I'm talking about. People that even if Mad Libby were to no longer be, I guarantee you they would still continue in some form or another be making music. So I think that's a great segue, Frank, to talk to Mad Libby.
Okay, you're talking. Go for it.
Yeah,
I was kind of I'm trying to place where what I don't know.
Well, we're
It's
talking
like-
about California Dreaming.
right.
And then I think last segment with Rory and Paul coming in, and those guys. Rory's kind of been MIA since
He's
for
been
a while,
very quiet.
and all of a sudden, like with Forever Grey, I just think it's. I see some things that I'd already been predicting about 2020 coming to be the truth, in that someone that I live this every day, and I'm not saying that the last few years haven't been fun and I haven't enjoyed being Strat Geezer, but man, I love the fact that guys like Rick Allen are jumping back in, that Rory's jumping back in, and that Mad Libby has just never went away. That they're here, you know, that they're here and carrying that torch because, you know.
Now, Dana, you're a major like Joan Jett fan, if I'm correct, right?
Sure.
I mean, am I right? Wrong?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
No, that's very correct. That is very
What do you
correct.
think of the pairing with the Motley Crue tour?
I think it's awful.
But
But that's just me.
That was my.
That's
take
just
as
my.
well, but-
They would do better with. She would do better, with a different group of bands. I think had they gone with like Lita Ford,
that would be good.
that would have suited
Yeah.
them better. But it's just, I think it's weird that they went with Joan because she doesn't really fall into that
Right.
particular frame of genre so
Now,
much.
You played Joan Jett shows as well, haven't you?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, or like here, where was it?
Starlight?
Starlight, that's
Uh-huh.
right. Sorry, like I said, this is later than our
Right.
normal time, and this is the first time I've really had to run all this stuff.
That's okay.
And
You're doing
I'm a little-
great. Super job.
You know, so, you know, and I'm going ADD here, so
Right.
I'm going to switch subjects again, but what's your next plans for Mad Libby? You've been around for a long time. You've had a lot of accomplishments, especially in the regional level.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, what's your next steps? Do you have anything?
I looked over to Jennifer and she's looking at me like, go on.
Yes. Tell me.
Do tell them. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
I don't know. I'll tell you what we're doing.
California.
We are going to go to California once all this coronavirus baloney
I'm so
literally dies
serious.
out. Hopefully by the summertime, this virus will have run its course and everybody's getting well. And they're saying that,
We're
like,
not dead.
yeah, if we're all still here
Yeah.
and not quarantined forever, we would like to get back out to California and play some other places and maybe showcase for some.
Damn El Nino.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's funny you say that. When I was out in San Francisco here a couple months ago, I was looking at going around to some of their local music venues, and, stuff, and there were several that I was like, man, they could play. And you're the band I was thinking of. They could play this venue,
Sure.
and they could just kill it here.
Aw.
Just because of the style that they
Yeah.
have. San Francisco is your guys' style. And
Well,
you do it better.
It's a beautiful city.
Well,
They just
I-
got shitty. Can I say shitty?
Yeah.
They've got shitty sports teams.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that, you know,
But it is a beautiful city.
I just think there's a lot to be said about, you know, I think the Midwest is always a little bit behind what's going on either coast. That's a given. Whether you're talking music, you're talking fashion, no, Mad Libby killed it when they played the whiskey, and it was a great time,
It was a lot of fun. It was a great experience, you know?
wasn't it? It was.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, I still look back on that and say, man, I really did that. That was really cool.
I loved watching you guys cruise around Venice Beach on those bikes.
That was so fun.
You guys were like,
That was the
it was
funnest
so gangsta,
day.
you know.
That was the funnest
I'm like, where's
day.
Mad Libby?
It's like, it cost like $6 to rent a bike for a day.
But we're talking about these old, like,
Yeah, there's
OG
like
bikes.
the ape hanger,
Right.
like Bobby's World, and
Right.
you know, you're just like these huge trikes and stuff. It was awesome.
I was hunting down the photographer that I paid to take out there, and the instructions were very simple. You're going out here to shoot Mad Libby
Right.
24/7, not just at the show.
You're gonna
but wherever
document
they
their
are,
trip.
You're document, and she would disappear,
Right.
and she would show
She-
back up on it. Where you were? Where were you?
Oh,
You
I
just
went.
missed it?
I went and got a new tattoo. Oh, all right. Well, we were doing something and you missed it, so.
I just met so and so at the gas station.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh, well,
Hey,
you're
Jay,
supposed
I'm
to
like-
be taking pictures of our experience. That's
Yeah.
all right.
Who was it? Monique's brother. I don't know how I
I saw
know.
him at the gas station.
Yes, I just met so and so. But you know, I got it. I know it's really off. We had a lot of great experiences. From
Did you get to go to Santa Monica while you were out there? Venice is also.
we went to
No, we
Venice.
went to Venice Beach, and that was a lot of fun.
We're Venice people.
Yeah.
We are Venice Beach type of people.
Venice
Yeah.
is being from the Midwest. When you go to Venice, it is its own world.
Oh, it's like its own. It's
indescribable.
like a Star Wars cantina, man.
it is.
It's
Oh, it is.
amazing.
Nowhere
I
else.
love
can-
it.
Like, yeah, the smell of patchouli.
You can sit on a bench there for hours
And never see the same thing twice.
That's it. It's just I love it. So, but part of this is why we're talking about California is the California dreaming.
So,
And-
let me really.
So how are we doing
ahead.
that? How's
Well,
that? Let's hear the
And
plans.
that's why I'm pushing them to keep going.
I want to do it bigger and better. Paul wants to get 105.1 involved to where, maybe we'll see. We're talking about some things and an
You made me cringe.
amphitheater that wants to get involved to where, the deal is if I can't go bigger, then I don't want to do it.
Right.
And things have changed. The thing about it is when I say you're going to get an opportunity to play the Whiskey A Go-Go, the only rock and roll music venue to ever be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Kids these days, the younger generation of musicians,
Oh, T.I. played
they
there?
don't care. They're like, so,
Yeah. Which
so-
is unfortunate. Which means somebody dropped the ball. Because that's supposed to be something you talk about with your kids. Jimi
No.
Hendrix played on that stage.
Jimi Hendrix.
Joan Jett played on that stage. The
Anybody.
Doors were the house band for years.
Yeah.
Motley Crue. Pretty much everybody who's coming to town this summer has played at the Whiskey A
You guys got a
Go-Go.
dressing room, remember?
Yeah.
Now those dressing rooms.
They used to be apartments.
Apartments.
Yeah.
And so-
Motley Crue's was like right across the hall from where we were.
Right. So when you watch The Dirt and their apartment was across the street from the Whiskey, no.
No, it was upstairs.
In the day, it was upstairs where the dressing
It was
rooms are.
literally upstairs.
So no, for me, being a music buff, when I walk into a place like the Whiskey, I can feel the vibes. I can, for me, it's just magical. It's just one of those. It's just one of those places. But what's cool about playing in LA, especially on the Sunset Strip, is I can't guarantee it. Nobody can, but anybody can walk into your show. Like, for example, when Mad Libby played, Wes Scantlin from Puddle of Mud showed up in a chicken suit, remember?
Yes.
With Rod Stewart's
I remember the pictures
daughter.
on Facebook on that one. I was like, what the hell's he doing?
Yeah, it was the Chicken A Go-Go that night.
It was the Chicken and Go-Go. And also Taylor Hawkins
Yeah, we talked to him.
from the Foo Fighters.
Jennifer
dropped
tried to
in.
sell him a ticket.
Right.
Do you like rock and roll?
And he was like, why, yes, I do. Go on.
Right.
He's got the money. Buy the
He
damn
was
ticket.
like,
Yeah.
he was like, you're kidding me. I love rock and roll. Come talk to me.
And so, and just like that, those are the things that you can't plan for, And I can tell you, like, when Not Afraid won California Dreaming, make it extra. Every trip was different. Everyone played the Whiskey, but, like, for instance, I arranged for their backline was provided by the band Snot. And
Okay.
then, so their roadies that night
don't know if I'd
were
want to
members
touch
of
that.
Snot.
My
and
balls, your
Gemini
chin.
Syndrome. And it was great, and it was a lot of fun.
That was their hit. Oh, yeah.
So, but anyway, Mad Libby had a
Scarlet,
great time.
Scattered Hamlet let us use theirs, and that was really super cool.
That was.
So
and-
shout out to them for doing that.
And
That was
they-
very, very nice of them to allow us to use their equipment.
And they also made a trip to the dispensary for us.
Yeah, because that's when it was residents only could buy
Yes.
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 And we met them at the.
And we got the rundown.
We met them.
Only take 2 of these.
And they didn't.
And we didn't.
there. Well, out there, because San Francisco, I've been to LA, but San Francisco's been my recent one where
Uh-huh.
now that anybody can buy them.
Sure.
And I tell you, you go in these shops and they're like, and I don't know what the hell this stuff is. It's not my thing. And I go in there with some other people, and they're like, oh, well, this is 82 and this is 91. I'm thinking, okay, this is the quality maybe. I don't know.
Right.
They're not explaining what the. I was like, give me a 90, give me a 92, and they're like, now just only have half of one.
You're
And
like,
I was like,
yeah,
nah,
okay,
whatever.
Whatever, buddy.
I was on my hands and knees crawling to get to the car. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was poor. And then I give one to Corey when I get back. You gotta
Right.
try this.
I am so messed up. You gotta try this.
And I told him, I was like, seriously, only
Dude, the light screen. Where are my keys?
only eat a quarter.
You gotta
And I'll
take one
tell
of
you,
these.
It's Frank. He exaggerates everything.
Right. Right. Yeah.
He calls me 36 hours later. I just got out of my
He's
chair.
like, dude, this seagull will not shut up. He keeps talking to me.
Now, I watched a couple of the Mad Libby members, which will not be named, puking off the second story of their hotel on,
Well, it wasn't me.
Oh, it wasn't Dana.
We'll just leave it to the others.
Yes, it was not Dana.
But it was not me.
So we're sitting at the Rainbow.
Okay.
And
is that still there? Because I know they demolished a lot.
No, it's still there.
Okay.
We're sitting outside and we're waiting for
the Plaza.
We're waiting for Scattered Hamlet to show up with our drugs.
And Lemmy.
No admission to
This
guilt
is
on
when
this show at
Lemmy
all.
was alive. Lemmy. We all saw Lemmy down at the end of the bar, and we were all just about ready to die. We were like, "Oh my God, there's Lemmy."
Lemmy is sitting behind us, playing his little tabletop machine.
Poker game or whatever, you know, where you touch the screen, you bet 50 cents or whatever.
And the photographer, who was a pain in the ass the whole time, and I love her to death.
We won't name names. She's no longer affiliated with the company.
She was like, "It's Lemmy," and I'm like, "Leave him alone. Let me him alone." And I'm like, "Don't make us look like tourists, okay?"
Sure enough.
But we
sure
are.
as shit. She gets up and runs around.
Runs
and
over
right
to
behind
him.
us.
Yeah.
I hear her go, "Oh my God, I'm a big fan. Can I get an autograph and a picture?" And Lemmy, being a gentleman, says, I just remember darling, like, not right now, darling.
Right. I'm in the middle of a hand here.
Yeah, and we were all like going.
I've got to figure out if I'm going to.
But, you know,
playing his poker game.
But man, you know what? Every time I did that California Dreaming, it was a good time. From the shows here to the Rocklahoma to getting on a plane and hoping, you know, every
Hoping
time
to land.
Hoping we don't crash.
The deal was every time I went out there, I was just like, and it's part of my nature was like, I've got to deliver. Like, this is
You
got
already delivered,
like, this
bro.
has got to
We
be-
were just there to just be
This
there.
is why I wanted them to talk is exactly what we're talking about. 99% of what we're talking about is the experience that a lot of these kids, if
Sure.
you will, that are in bands, they haven't been to California. They don't know that there's other life out there yet.
Right. Well, here's something cool. Like Robert, our guitar player, he had never even flown on an airplane.
Really?
And he'd never been to California.
Never saw the ocean.
He's never seen the ocean. He got to do all of that in one trip because we worked our butts off for 9
Got to
months.
see the Hollywood.
Did you guys get to see the Eddie Van Halen video?
Are we going to talk about that? Are we going to hurt my feelings tonight?
No, but the deal is what I want to tell you guys.
No, but guess what? Pull up a chair.
But what's incredible about that is it's a testimony to my friend Nick Martinez.
I know.
Is that he had that.
He did have that.
And
That
he
was.
could have released that.
I know. I know.
TMZ would have paid him big money.
Oh,
and I
he would have
talked
been
him
set
in.
for life.
Yeah, and I talked him in because he'd shared it with me before.
All right.
And you being
He told me,
huge
yes,
Van
I'm a
Halen
huge
fan.
Van Halen fan. Anybody
So,
who knows me knows that.
Back up, I got a great friend who, Tao Productions, he's been working in music forever. He helped Katy Perry in her career when she was just getting started. So part of the California Dreaming experience was always taking the bands down to Beverly Hills to Tao Productions and letting them sit.
You never know who was in
And
there
you just
for
talk
one.
shop.
Yeah, letting
You
them
talk
sit.
shop. You talk about what you're doing, and they like give you recommendations, like some suggestions and some tips on like what you can do to get further in the industry and what steps you need to take. You know, and
what's even cooler is something that wasn't planned. You know, while these guys were having fun, I was still like in business mode. Like, how can I crank this experience up? I remember calling Nick from Venice Beach while they were out riding bikes, going,
popping wheelies.
I've got this band out here, and I want to bring them down and talk to you. He's like, yeah, Corey, you know that's a given. And I'm like, but I want something else. Do you have any people that we can get to come down and watch them perform? He's like, yeah, what? And anyway, long story short, is
It's a pretty long story.
Calls me a few hours later, and he's like, did you say that was an all-girl band? And I'm like, well, kind of, almost.
75%.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
There's
well,
one that we can dress up if we
Yeah,
have to.
he's got nice legs. Don't worry about it.
Now I'm about ready to kind of like pull the curtains, down from a show. But he tells me, he goes, my good buddy is involved. Was it The Voice?
No,
Or
it was America's Got Talent.
He goes, America's Got Talent wants their next winner. Oh, shit. Ruining for everybody.
Duh.
They want their next winner to be an all-girl band. They want an all-girl band. And I'm like, well.
We can deliver about 3/4 of that.
So, he's like, can you bring them to the studio to audition acoustic? Well, we didn't have any acoustic
We didn't bring
guitars.
any acoustic because we just didn't think about it.
Well,
We were
you're
there to
going
perform.
You're
right.
playing an electric show. You're
Right.
So again, if you remember right, one of the members of Scattered Hamlet worked for Guitar Center, but somewhere else, but calls the one in
Los Angeles,
Los
Hollywood,
Angeles and
the
downtown,
Hollywood.
and arranges for us to go there before they even open the next morning. And weren't we in the back in the alley waiting for a couple of acoustic
This seems
guitars
shady as
Okay,
hell.
to be handed out the back door?
There was a man in a trench coat. I remember that.
Right.
And then there was a flash of light. Everything turned white, and I don't remember, but we were standing there with an acoustic guitar.
But wasn't there something along that lines we need it before you guys open because we have to be in Beverly Hills, and
Right.
I
It was
remember being there early and circling the building, and finally someone was anyway, we got the guitars, and so now the song Lemonade
Fell
has
off the back
that
of a
meaning
truck.
for me. Whenever I hear how many years later,
because we
when
did
I
the
hear
acoustic,
Lemonade,
yeah, because we did
that's
the
where
acoustic
it
version.
takes me.
Yeah.
Is
Such
it
a great
takes
song.
me to that room, and I remember thinking, I was worried, man, we can't audition as a full band, plugged in, and
Right.
you got to really experience.
It was
but I
fine.
remember getting in there, and when you guys killed it.
Well,
the
harmonies.
everything was right on, and it sounded good.
Harmonies
and it was just fun, and it was a good time.
were good.
And then remember the lady at the pancake place?
Oh!
Listen, she was an honorable Jew, and she felt like a dirty dog, and she needed someone to get her a hotel room that was wheelchair accessible. And no matter what that poor guy at IHOP came up with, it was garbage. She wasn't going to accept it. And it's where did she even come from?
You know what was going on in my mind?
Rob was laughing. That's I was like, you need to stop because they're going to catch on that you're laughing at her, and then we're all going to be in trouble.
I felt I'd done you guys wrong.
Oh.
I thought, what a great way to kick off this California Dreamin' Weekend. We get off a plane, and I'm we're meeting at the damn IHOP on, in West L.A., in Hollywood, and we get there, and as soon as we walk in, we have that kind of thing.
Yeah,
going
there
on.
was a customer there that was pretty difficult. They
But-
ended up calling the police, and it was,
But
It sounds like normal LA.
well, that's what I said. I mean, it was all part of the experience. We just didn't have to pay extra for it, so that was
it
cool.
is, and it's
And that's what I'm
provided.
trying to convince Corey, with this California, because he's like, well, I want to do this and I want to do that. It's built
It
into
creates
LA.
its own- right,
You don't need to worry about
You
it. It's
really
gonna
don't.
take care of itself.
It is. You will find plenty of things to do. You don't really need an agenda. You can figure it out.
But here's what's changed, and I know this will blow your mind. When I was doing California Dreaming, normally needed 50 to 60 rock bands, which was easy to find.
Now there's
Now
hardly
I
any.
want you to name
50 to
I want
60.
you
I can't.
to name 20.
I can't name 20. I could name
So-
maybe 5.
So Frank and a lot of people have convinced me that maybe it's just that I'm out of touch. That maybe they're out there somewhere, but I don't know if that's
Well,
true,
and this is something that people
know?
forget about when it comes to social media, is just what you see is a very small slice of society. Mm-hmm. That's your bubble. Mm-hmm. And there's so much outside of that bubble that if you're not outside actually meeting people and doing
Yeah,
things
but this
and
is a
going
small
places,
bubble, and
to some degree, but
I'm-
not really. You've got bands that are still in the garage waiting to come out, but they don't know where to play. And you just got to find them. Yes, that is the trick. I agree.
I hope
But
it
I
seems
believe
like,
they're there.
Just seems like the freshmen. There's always been the graduating senior class, if you will, but there was always a big freshman class. I knew 4 or 5 years ago once when I was driving and my son was in the back seat, all buckled in. Julian, he's 13 now, so he was probably 7 or 8. And I had Guns N' Roses cranked up, and I looked back there and was cranked, and he's like this in the back. I see him in my rearview mirror. He's like this, pretending. He's got his headphones held to his ear, and he's going. I'm like, turn it
No.
down. I guess, I said, Julian, there's no DJ in Guns N' Roses. And,
He's
and
like,
I
you
knew-
know where you
And I
are?
knew then, right? I knew then, like, holy smokes. This younger generation, they're doomed. They're not air guitaring in the backseat. They're air
Or air
DJing.
drumming or anything. They're all like, wicka, 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 wicka.
Right, exactly. It's like, this isn't Incubus. This is Guns N' Roses,
I do
my
love
friend,
the Incubus.
my son. But to spare him, he is playing guitar. And he
Good
plays
for
a Les
him.
Paul, so.
Good for him.
So
Good for him.
He's getting it right.
Have some fun.
So, you know what? We are going to figure out California Dreaming, and we're going to do it. It may be a little bit scaled down in the amount of bands, but, I just want to believe that musicians get excited about the idea of going and playing in Hollywood and playing in an iconic rock and roll venue like the Whiskey A Go-Go.
I think that's just that alone. I mean, granted, I'm from the generation that knows what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame means, because now you've got people wondering where they found Ozzy on Post Malone's track, but that's a whole nother conversation. So, I think that alone is not really going to be the sell. It's the sell of L.A. It's the sell of California, and even maybe. If you figure out that the whole Whiskey A Go-Go thing isn't what is going to sell this time, send them to another city in LA or in
Another
that
venue.
was awesome. Send them to another city in California.
Right.
Or another venue.
Exactly. If it doesn't have that type of value, then go where you think that there is the value. I mean, the point is this is very doable and it's very sellable once people see or hear even what it is. I truly believe it. And going back to you need 50 to 60 bands is what you did. A lot of those bands that signed up you didn't know existed before they came to it. So I think that's one of those things that once it gets out there, once the word gets out there, you're going to find the bands.
That's a
We'll
good
see.
point.
We'll see. No matter what, we'll move forward. I'm excited about the state of local music and just music, live music in general, and just kind of seeing where, over the last few years, people have said things like rock and roll is dead. And, it's never been dead.
I don't
It
believe
may
it's
just
dead.
not
I
have
think
been-
it's turning.
Well, it may have not. It was never dead. It may have not been what the guys in the times were pushing as music for the masses.
I think it just kind of went into like a hibernation state because
True.
there was, no one knew what was going to happen when the internet exploded like it did.
Metallica warned us
That-
about it. And we all
Lars,
remember
he
Napster?
warned us Napster was going to ruin it.
No,
but
during
we
the day,
really
we
didn't
all
know.
wanted Napster. High five.
Right. Well, so now everybody has the ability to make some sort of kind of music, and
Right.
are they really any good? Probably not the best, but
No, it's
they
a-
have the capability, and so it's like you've got to weed through all of that now
Yeah.
to find where are the good rock bands, where are the kids with their guitars in their garages and their basements and
You
playing.
are so right, and that's the
Oh,
key.
we have a submission service that sends us probably 10 bands a day. Hey, check this out for airplay. Check this
Sure.
out for airplay. Because they go to this person and they send it to us.
Right,
And whatever.
right.
And out of those 10, we'll go over 50 of a week.
'Kay.
We might find two,
Right.
maybe two.
Right.
Because it being as accessible as recording is now.
Right. That's what I'm
it
saying. With
just-
the Pro
it-
Tools and all that
It's
stuff.
absolutely unreal. People who, and honestly, that's also a mix of what our taste is versus what someone else's.
Correct.
But at least it's out there. I mean,
Right.
so it's a positive.
You
and
just
a
gotta
negative.
really dig for it, man.
Oh,
Yes.
There's
You gotta
some that I'm just
really
like,
dig for it, man.
So what the hell's the beat on this one? There's no.
I don't know.
This ain't right. So
Yeah.
Well, when you look at what the guys in the ties now are pushing, they realize that there is a market for rock and roll. You look at bands like Dirty Honey, and it seems like right now this flavor of rock and roll is got this 70s flair and this 70s vibe. And I hate to admit it, I'm old enough that I remember that the last time they said rock was dead, when disco was like what everybody, the masses, were listening to, and I still listen to some disco, but that ran its course. You can hold rock down for so long, but eventually, it's like a volcano. It builds and it builds.
Yeah, it just
and then
goes into like a hibernation, and then people discover.
Right.
But it also morphs. I mean, because you look at the
Sure.
70s and the 80s and the 90s and the zeros.
Of course,
Yeah,
and it's going to
so-
continue to morph.
Right.
And it's
so
going to continue
what we
to
know
change.
as rock is not going to be there.
Right, they're not
anymore.
going to classify that as
Yeah.
rock.
Yeah, because what we knew as rock is now metal, and everything.
Or what we
shifted.
thought was metal is now rock.
Yeah, it's
You
like,
know, oh, these guys were heavy as hell back in the day, and
Uh-huh.
you're hearing them at the grocery store now, and you're shopping for your cereal. You're like,
So-
what happened? These
Right.
guys were hardcore. Am I wrong?
No, we use labels like they're like speed metal.
Right. And there's all these
Right.
subgenres.
I had
speed
to-
metal. I heard it in an elevator. It's
Me and my friends back in the 80s, we were all like about, the makeup and the hair. And then we had those other guys that hung out in the corner with their jean jackets with their Metallica patches. And we were like,
Their ripped jeans.
it's just so heavy, man.
It's just so much. Just so much guitar and
It's not
helicopter
heavy, yeah.
music.
Metallica's not heavy at all.
No, and now they're like playing them at, the grocery store when you're buying your cereal.
You're walking around to Enter Sandman.
You are,
It's-
and you're pushing your cart and you're bobbing your head. It's
Right.
fun.
Like,
It's fine, but I wasn't expecting it to hear it in the
No,
Price
no,
Chopper.
it's like-
you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It's just
wow,
like
they've
what?
upgraded.
Right.
No, I've downgraded.
So there's kids out there buying their pasta or whatever, and they're listening to music.
Right.
They're like, wow, this sounds pretty good. I wonder what this is. So they Shazam it, and it's Enter Sandman.
Yeah,
So you've spawned a whole new generation of music lovers for standing in the Price Chopper at the wrong time.
Well, and I think a lot, like, with my 13-year-old, his tastes are all over. And I think, like, the younger
But that's
generation...
good. That's good, though.
Is that, like, especially, like, when you look at rap and rock, a lot of the kids that listen to rock also listen to rap. That line, those barriers have been...
They're gone now.
Are gone.
Yeah. It was very segregated. I know when you and I were growing up, it was like you had the rap kids and then you had the not rap kids.
Right. And,
Yeah.
before you guys got here...
Yeah, there was no crossover.
There was no crossover.
There was none.
It was
Until Aerosmith.
right,
on
right.
DMC.
And then everybody was like, oh, wait. Hang
You
on a
either had the
second.
Poison jacket or
Right.
you had
Or
the...
you were wearing the cool Modi sunglasses.
Well,
Yeah.
so many people in the music industry was dictating that, whether you were at Walmart or Street Side Records. What the hell, Street Side Records? But
That's a whole nother
and
show.
everything was categorized.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
and I think that's just the world that we live in, whether it's music or anything. Like people with a true heart and passion for anything don't want to be put in a corner.
Sure.
No one puts baby in a corner.
Nobody
I
puts
was the
rock and
Poison
roll.
jacket. My mom was the Easy E mom.
Really?
I kid you not. I'll never forget whenever she found that tape.
She's
that
like
I had
cruising in
my
the
room.
streets in
Oh,
my
she's
six
pulling in.
foot.
She's pulling into the driveway, and I've got my windows open. I'm sitting in my room doing my homework, doing something, and I keep hearing, "Fuck the police!" and I look out the window. She's.
Got the Easy E mom. That's awesome.
I never thought I'd see it, but
My mom was a Neil Diamond mom.
that's the worst.
No, it's not actually. Like I went to a couple of Neil Diamond shows, and they were awesome.
He's like, I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah,
I got a shirt.
Well, you'd be surprised.
You'd be
like-
surprised how many songs you know.
Well, not necessarily he wrote for himself, but for like the Monkees
Right.
and everyone
Yeah.
else. You know.
Oh, the
Now,
monkeys. That's another.
It's a whole nother show.
Yeah, it is.
remember the Monkees come back on MTV?
Here we
like,
go.
In the late '80s, the marathon. I went to see like 3 of the 4 Monkees at Sandstone during that period. It was the big Monkees comeback. Remember the Monkees comeback?
Nope.
No.
No.
Sorry.
What were you taking that day?
Right. Had you
There
been to
was
the
no Monkees
dispensary? Had you been crawling back to your car?
Maybe I was the only one at Sandstone that night. Maybe there wasn't even a show.
You were trapped in your garage.
Maybe it was. Corey, there was no Monkees.
You were stuck in a trash can in your garage. You kept
Oh my
asking if
God,
you
it
pissed
could be
yourself. We
true.
were like
It-
trying to.
It could be true. Oh,
See, I
one of the things while we have Matt Libby here is,
light
you know,
bulb.
I forget, Strike Gazer and Mad Libby really do have history.
Sure.
And if whether it's just shows, California Dreaming, but when I put you guys out on the road behind Miss Wendy, opening on
The
tour,
fabulous Miss Wendy.
out on the road with UFO.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Yes.
No, that was a great experience.
I don't know.
The second and third and fourth time, not so much. But that very first tour was amazing.
Like,
Yes, it
are you
was.
being serious? You're like,
Oh.
thank you for that.
No.
No,
It was fun. It was.
It
we learned a
definitely
lot.
was a huge learning experience. I mean, just having a week to learn all this music, going out there, being in front of huge crowds,
Huge crowds. And like,
working the audience.
I remember my buddy Don Jameson from That Metal Show.
Yeah.
I remember him one time, him here telling me, I love UFO, and so does what is his name? His sidekick.
The majority of whoever's in
Eddie.
there.
Eddie Trunk.
Eddie Trunk, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember calling him and going, hey, just FYI, UFO is going to be in New York, and I got some friends that are backing up and I think you guys ended up running into him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and the crowds were pretty good for that, right?
Oh my
Now,
God.
Oh, yeah.
Were you-
Oh.
Sold out shows.
Sold out. Sold
out.
out.
Theaters.
UFO was
You
selling out
yes.
still?
Yes.
Sold
Yes, it was
out.
sold out.
Signs on the door. Sorry, no tickets. Sold out. I
UFO.
mean, I know. That's what I said. I was like, are we
Wow.
sure we're at the right place?
Well, Michael
Check the
Chester,
GPS.
That band is iconic, and they're like. a
Yeah,
band
but they
like
come to
Rush,
Kansas City and
they
they're
have
playing the
They
record
have
card.
their.
Yeah,
They have
I know,
their.
but I'm just saying that's what you would think.
and you guys were
Yeah.
getting dressing rooms and what?
We were getting. I was
hospitality?
very excited about the meat and cheese trays.
Oh yeah.
Well, right. So those were great.
That's probably my favorite part.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was just so much fun.
Dana, I
Yeah.
have bands, mainly old school bands, that
Uh-huh.
in the scheme of 15 minutes of fame, they're on minute 19. That'll come in here and they may have a guarantee for
One member left of
$5,500,
the original.
but all they want to hound me about is are you going to get our deli tray?
Right.
And I'm like, are you
It's a
forgetting
big
I
deal.
owe you $5,500?
They're like, we're really not concerned with the 5,500 right now, Corey. We just want some meat and
We'll
cheese,
work
and
that on
maybe
the back
if
end.
we could get some ranch dressing and some vegetables, that would
I
be.
think it's because if those kind of things became a
It's
standard
gold.
in the industry,
It's-
but
it's like
that's
worth
how
its
you
weight in gold.
validate.
Yes.
We've made it.
If
When
we get a deli tray.
when we get a deli tray, we have made
When
it.
I get my olives
Or just
and I get my
just
mini
green
pickles,
M&Ms.
I've
Right.
just the
Right.
green M&Ms.
No other color.
Right.
Well,
Just-
that's another rider that I saw of yours one time. It was a steer ready for slaughter in the rider. It's like,
steer
where the hell
ready for
where the hell
slaughter.
do you get this?
Well, we are in Kansas City. I mean, you
Well,
just
yeah.
have to ask around.
Well, this was when I was new.
Yeah, but I don't think you go to Arthur Bryant's and pick that up.
Well,
Not tonight.
I remember running all over town trying to find a rubber chicken because it was on the rider. I remember driving myself crazy because Days of the New, Travis Meeks wanted fruit roll-ups, but they couldn't be any fruit roll-ups.
No.
They had to be Spider-Man. Well, understand.
Amazon didn't exist.
There
at the
was no
time.
Right.
Amazon. Spider-Man movies were out. So I searched, and the agent told me, he goes, "You will have a situation, not Scooby-Doo,
situation.
not Scooby-Doo roll-ups, not regular roll-ups. They've got to be Spider-Man roll-ups."
Or he will trash the room.
Well, Dave Pilgrim, H. Gage,
Right.
one day his wife Kat knew of my dilemma because they were they were opening up H. Gage. She called me out of the booth. After 3 weeks of me searching, she's like, "Corey, you're never gonna believe this. I'm at a Cargo Largo, and there is a pallet.
I'm
of
getting it for you
Spider-Man
tonight."
of fruit roll-ups." And I'm like,
How much for the pallet?
she
Yeah.
said, "Well, the guy said that they're old. That's why they're here." So
It
she
doesn't
can't
matter.
Okay, a
guarantee-
little crunchy. We'll deal with it.
So
Run them in the
I'm like,
microwave for about 30
you
seconds.
know, well, after this show, this was the green room. This was before I learned that a writer is really a wish list. So when they submitted,
It wasn't gospel?
I got,
What?
I got everything.
This isn't my rock and roll gospel for the
Right.
night?
So on this table, that writer was huge. So on this table was several boxes of cereal, potato chips, deli trays, fruit trays, and then the Spider-Man fruit roll-ups. Travis Meek rolls in. His TM tells me, this was before we all knew that. We remember the show, the I'm a meth head show. Remember?
What?
The
Which one?
Intervention.
Okay.
Travis Meeks later on appears on Intervention because he's a meth head. But this was after he came here. So his TM tells me
God.
he's OCD. So he rolls in. No, he's not OCD. He's a meth head. So
There's a little bit of a difference there.
after
Just
the
a little
show-
bit.
He might be sleeping.
Just by like 1 or 2 teeth.
Yes,
He
after
might be
the-
sleeping through the show. He might be up for 2
Right.
shows.
Well,
you never
af-
know.
After the show, the team's like, he ain't going to stick around silent grabs. He's going to go to the green room. He's going to grab his coat, and then he's got a ride right outside this door waiting for him. So I come in here because I'm thinking, if this mother does
Right.
not like take these damn fruit roll-ups, I'm going to like
I'm
kill
gonna,
him.
yeah.
So he comes in here, and I'm like, great show, Travis. And he's like, he doesn't say anything. He goes over there, opens the door, opens the other door to see that his ride is there. He walks back in, grabs all of leaves everything else that I paid for, grabs the Spider-Man fruit roll-ups, and without saying anything to anybody, beelines
Bolts
into
out the door.
car and disappears into the night. And I'm like, I don't know whether to be mad that he like didn't want the other $300 worth of crap that I bought him, or to be like, now that was pretty rock and roll.
He didn't want the goldfish. He didn't want the fishes that are so delicious.
No, you learned about the Rider List as a show that I was helping you out with. Swear to God, this was the Great White, Bullet Boys, Pink Boy, Pretty Boy Floyd.
Right.
It was this big '80s
Sure.
like reunion show that we were doing here, and we spent 7 hours because it was stupid how the writer was like.
We
We
were at
want
Walmart with
pastrami,
5
but no
cars.
more than 3 peppers per. So
I don't want the Dr. Pepper to touch the other Dr.
Yeah, I
Pepper
mean, it was all
on
the-
this side of the stage.
I mean, and it got to the point where we were up to like $900 just in food. We hadn't even got to the second page of the rider, and
Absurd.
we started looking at each other like,
That's just
Screw 'em.
absurd.
Bullet
Yeah.
Boys lead singer every 5 minutes would call us while we were shopping. Did you get my Marlboro Lights?
yeah. And
Hey,
then,
don't forget my Oreos. I need my Oreos.
we pull up and we're unloading the van, and he was like, "Hey, I need a ride." I was like, "Fine, hop in, let's go." And he was like, "I have to ride in a Kia." It's like, it's what's here. Do you want it or
It's-
not?
What
It's
name was
paid
that?
for.
That was Bullet Boys. They wanted to go to IHOP.
Well,
We bought all this food, and they're like,
No, we want pancakes.
Classic is not all of them would fit in the car. So Julie, all she had was an old pickup truck.
She's like, you're going to have to lay down in the back.
So we took as many as we could, and then 3 or 4 of them with Julie in a pickup truck crammed in there. And I'm like, classic, man.
So Bullet Boys were a pain in the ass that show, and Great White, that was a whole nother level of stupid. But like Pretty Boy Floyd and whatever the other band was that was on the front, I don't remember what it was, but they were cool because we're like, hey, we got the stuff. What of it's yours? We don't care. We'll take the leftovers.
Right.
But when I learned one day was it was an LA gun show. I'm sitting out watching the Lakers game before doors with Tracy Guns, and his bassist comes over, not realizing I'm the promoter, and says to Tracy, look, man, the promoter actually bought our cigarettes and our like 9-volt batteries for our pedals, and walks away. And this is like the 3rd time.
And then you caught on to it. You were like, oh, so this is merely a suggestion sheet.
So I did. By this time, I was like, me and Tracy had become friends.
That's
And
when
I'm
you
like-
learn about buyouts.
I said,
Oh, Lord, yeah.
am I not required to buy that? And Tracy goes, well, Corey, man, we've done so many shows. He's like, it's kind of a wish list, man. Like, you owe us our guarantee. But that is our wish list. Like, if you want to be nice, it's called hospitality.
Okay.
You don't have to extend any hospitality. But if you do and you want, these are
We
the
really
things that we
appreciate
would like.
Yeah. You're not getting a discount next show, but we'll take the
We'll
hospitality.
take some 9-volt batteries.
So every band that has played here And for me, every Nashville touring act that has ever played for Stratgeezer since '97, which was like that LA Gun show. You could blame Tracy why you got to your dressing room and there was no hospitality waiting for you. So.
You got a little $200 envelope in there. You bought out. Have a nice day.
Right.
Yeah. So we
well, fuck a break because we've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes. So we kind of need to do that.
Let's do a break. And what are you gonna play?
Shit, I don't know. It's on random.
Okay. Well, random is fun.
All right, we're back.
There you go.
All right, Project Slam, live from Aftershock Music Venue. Parvenu just came off the stage not too long ago.
Yeah.
Got Rachel sitting right there next to Corey, almost on camera, right through Corey's mic boom. And well, yeah, they can shut off the heater over there. If you're watching on Facebook and your music got muted, it's you go over to twitch.tv/Project Backstage, and they don't mute our music.
Thank God.
So,
It's a little bit chaotic.
but you know,
Crazy
tonight
night.
it is, but it's been fun. We still got Bad Libby in studio, got Dana and Jennifer and
We got
and
members of Shadow
Daphne.
Sin, imaginary friends in the
Yeah,
house.
they're back behind there.
Become a
And
party.
Rob's just hanging out back there. He's gonna learn after we go off the air how to fly this plane. He doesn't know it yet, but he's gonna learn how to produce tonight.
He's going to be a producer.
and I'll explain that to you later.
So, really quick, again, like Frank mentioned, we're here at Aftershock. There was not only are we doing our live radio show, I guess you can't even call it a radio show because it's
not.
audio video.
This is just our little vidcast.
Vidcast? Is
Yeah.
that what it's called? A vidcast?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it, even if it's not. That's what I'm going to go with.
Well, you better patent that because I think it works. But anyway, the last couple weeks, we've decided to broadcast and do the show while there's an actual rock and roll show going on.
You know, people
in the
bitch
venue.
about, oh, there's so much. I'm not saying listeners or us, but, oh, there's background noise, there's this, there's that. I like it. It kind of gives an ambience. How do you say it? I don't know.
Yeah, you got it right. I would agree. And if you can't be here, the idea is to make you at least wish you were here, or at least feel you're here. So anyway, the show got started. Was scheduled to start.
You should
at
be here.
6:30. They pushed it back. It started at 7. Those that have been listening since we started, we had Rory and Paul in from Short Roads and Dead Ends.
There's some old school musicians. Those two.
Yeah,
they've been
definitely.
around for a
It's
while.
good to see that, though. It's
It
good
is.
to see.
It's refreshing.
Yeah.
It really is.
And then they have some great touring bands out. Parvenu, who we're gonna have Rachel jump in here in a moment. They're part of this tour. This isn't just them and at Aftershock. They're on this whole tour. It's a tour package, and tonight's just the night that the tour package stopped here at Aftershock. Now they did add like for instance Short Roads and Dead Ends and Backwoods Soul Revival. They're not on the tour, but they were the local bands that got added. To
Not taking
tonight.
anything away from Parvenu, but Backwoods Soul Revival, I've really started digging their music. They are so good.
And again, that's everything that we've been talking about is that there is a revival. Not that local music ever died, not that rock ever died, but right now, not just in Kansas City, but everywhere, it's this sound, man, that isn't anything new. No one's reinventing the wheel, but rock.
I think people just missed it.
Yes, rock and like Parvenu, I would
People
say.
just missed it. You know, you turn on the radio and you're not hearing those
Drums.
and
Where are they?
Where's
Right.
the big guitars? And people miss that.
Yeah, well, where's the soul? And that's one thing I think when I think of Parvenu, that's a great lead-in. Is that I think if you haven't heard Parvenu, those are the elements that they kind of bring. That's their sound. It's a little bit of soul. It's a little bit of rock and roll, and so maybe we call it soul rock, But that's a great lead-in. I will take 50 cents off of every album you sell.
All right, thanks for the plug-in.
If you refer to it as soul rock.
I actually do.
But you know what? What's awesome about doing these videos is I was about ready to let the listeners know that Rachel was wearing an awesome jacket with lipstick that matched. But if you're watching,
You can see it.
you can see
It,
it.
it sticks
It's
out.
very gaudy. I know, but I love it.
I love it. You know what? I think that as a what got me to where I am has always been a music band, but I always will tell everyone I expect a little bit of spectacle with my rock and roll. I want that.
Yeah.
And so my favorite bands, local, regional, national, are always bands that pay attention to that. You show up with what you wore to work, and then chances are I'm not probably going to pay much attention.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to see people that pay attention and understand the that whole idea.
Yeah.
No, you got to elaborate.
Okay, so I come from a music theater background,
Right.
And I did makeup, like theater makeup, for like 2 years, and so that really got me into makeup, and I loved the elaborate looks that you can create on stage, and I try to teach myself as much, like learning off YouTube, and even like working with people from Halloween Hunt.
Right.
So just kind of doing special effects makeup, but I think in my head, I think that people will remember somebody with that cool jacket, or aside from just the musical taste.
Right.
I've always been kind of a fashion-inspired person, so I wanted to put it on the stage, and I don't want to feel guilty about it whenever I'm not on stage. So
No, absolutely not. Like
Yeah.
some of the greatest, our people like everyone from like Bowie, who understood the importance of what fashion and what image brought to the table when it came to presenting music as well. I think it all goes hand in hand. It's about escape. I think that a lot of people who consider themselves true music fanatics, not necessarily even musicians, but listeners, that is their escape. And so for me, when I'm standing, whether it's in a club like Aftershock or at the Sprint Center, I want to get lost, man, in it all. So
sparkles help. Just
Exactly.
you got it
Now-
in a trance. That was the
sparkles
point.
always help. Now I think it's important that when we go back to the old days of Slam Point One, Rachel was part of Slam, and Rachel hosted a show.
Yeah.
And I remember one day while we were doing a show like this, the guys from Evelyn Awake.
Dead Man's Hand.
No, it was Side Stage, and Evelyn Awake
Okay,
was...
you're talking
we,
different.
we were
Okay.
toying with this idea of like these open jams that they would host.
Oh,
And
yeah.
out of the blue, Rachel was like, I remember we were doing the radio show. We had no idea that she could sing, wanted to sing. I just remember being out in the venue, and all of a sudden Rachel was on stage belting out House of the Rising Sun, and everybody was like,
Everyone's like, who's
So,
that?
was that before or after you did it? You did that in studio with Dead Man's Hand doing acoustic, back for
no,
you.
I think it all began with that
It was
random-
that. That's what fueled it. Yeah.
Okay.
I,
Because that was the first time I'd heard it.
And chances are Rachel probably knew before then she could sing, but just hadn't mustered up
yeah, that's true.
how is it that you do tell everyone, hey guys, you probably don't know this, but I can sing.
Right.
And they're all like, oh, sure you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was kind of worried
So
about.
can I.
Exactly. So, yeah, I when I originally started, I really, I don't know, I was more the backup vocals. I worked with a lot of hip hop acts and did backup vocals and studio work. And I thought that's kind of like the path I was going to go down, was just studio work. And I wasn't really comfortable being a lead singer. Like, I just had, I wouldn't say self-confidence issues, but I'm like, how the heck do people rock the stage like that? And have all this energy, and how do you make people remember you? And I don't know, I think even as a plus size woman, I actually made a status about this on social media that
I was going to bring that up
Yeah.
actually, because that was powerful. But yeah,
I thought that was as a plus size woman myself. I thought it was very
let's face
powerful.
it. Between me and Corey, we're not small people, so we
Yeah.
understand, what you were saying.
Yeah.
And go ahead and give the backstory on it, because there's people that are probably watching that have no clue
Yeah,
what we're
of
talking
course.
about here.
So I think, I'm 25 now, and one thing I wish I would have done is start sooner. And that's probably why you guys didn't know I sang for the longest time, because I kind of was shy.
No, we didn't even know you were doing backup tracks.
Yeah.
for
No, we,
rappers.
No.
we remember her when she came in the studio, or at that time it was the office,
Yeah.
and was needing help to promote a high school thing.
I just graduated
Yeah.
high school,
Yeah.
and I was thinking
And
I wanted to
that's
be a
when I remember
promoter
meeting
or
you.
something like that.
Every
Like,
time
take me
I-
under your wing.
To see it
No,
evolve into
you're right.
this has been amazing. But yeah, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
Yeah,
I
no,
just
no problem.
yeah, nostalgia. It's a,
Yeah.
We still share an account. Every time I have to create a ticket event on Stubwire, it
Oh,
asks me,
really?
am I doing it for Stratgazer or Psycho Child?
Oh my gosh.
So it's still
Yeah.
there. Every time I'm reminded of it daily.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that's good memories right there. So that's actually how I first met Corey, and I was like 18. And I was like, I'm not taking no for an answer, and you're the guy I need to talk to,
Right.
whatever. And he taught me a lot, and so I always credit this as being my the roots of, I work in radio now and love what I do now, and it's because I started here.
Right.
So.
Again, I'll take 50 cents.
Yeah. Yeah. But back to the plus size woman thing. I did. Parvati had a show in Jacksonville, Illinois, and that's what this Grindside 2020 series is. We're calling it a series because it's not necessarily a tour. We're just doing weekend runs, going to each other's neighborhoods.
run out,
and-
hit it, come back.
Right, and just getting
Frank.
introduced.
Don't talk about your sexual
Oh
prowess.
yeah, I got a
Go
hot
out and
tub.
hit it and come back home.
Yeah. So we're just being introduced to different music scenes regionally. So and making friends in the process. So Jacksonville, Illinois, we had a show, and it's a small town, and we had the American Legion 279.
Oh man, I remember that.
Yeah,
Oh,
like talk
wow.
about nostalgic.
Yeah.
Like it just reminded me of old times, and even kids sitting like against the wall, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what I used to do.
Right.
But after our set, I had a kind of a heavier set female around 21, 22 come up to me at our merch booth and said, I just want you to know it was really cool seeing a plus size woman rock out like you did. And I kind of look up, and I took it all in because, I didn't know what to say because I'm like, yeah, I am plus sized, and I love what I do. And she said, I want to start a band with my friend, but I'm too scared to do it because of my size. How did you find the confidence to do it? And I said, I spent a lot of time just hindering what I wanted to do because I was scared of what people were thinking of me as a plus size woman. I didn't want to rock. I didn't want to jiggle everywhere when I was rocking out. But, I'm getting older. And I said, I want to do this. I don't care if everything's jiggling. I can sing my ass off. And I want to do that. And I didn't think of...
Honestly, from a fan's perspective, for other, plus size women or even plus size guys that are letting that hold them back, the fans don't care.
Yeah.
They really don't.
So true.
Yeah,
It's not
don't
true. And when I
care.
read that post the other day, I don't think I've ever really kind of thought of you. As
I
a
never
plus-size
have.
girl until you said
Thank
that.
you.
I would,
Yeah.
but because I don't really think. I really think that we dictate how people perceive us is the truth. I
Yeah.
think a strong
Well,
personality.
hell,
and the
that
way
way
we
I'm a
carry
skinny white
ourselves-
millionaire. What do you got?
Yeah.
I just think the way that we carry ourselves dictates on how people perceive us.
Right. No, and I agree. And that's something that I cannot stress enough is that when you get up on that stage, at that point, all that matters is your performance. Yeah, from a fan's perspective, sitting out there, okay, show me what you got type thing. They don't care what your presence is. I mean, outside of like the show with the jacket and that stuff brings the fans in.
Yeah.
But the size of the persons,
It's about
Don't
getting
matter.
lost, man, in the moment.
And
It really doesn't matter. I mean, industry will try to tell you, oh, you need to look a certain way. Let me tell you something. People don't care.
Industry,
Right.
The industry used to
Industry
push that.
kind of cares, but I think they're
Well, they
starting to
care
see
for-
that it's not that important.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they're taking more chances.
who's the oh man, she's in top 40 right now, and she's
Adele?
well, Adele's lost a lot of weight, so she's current.
Lizzo?
Yeah, Lizzo.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's another prime example.
Yeah.
People buy our
And
albums.
nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody.
So
Literally, no one
If you've got a
cares.
talent
It's
to perform with,
empowering. Yeah,
use
it's
it.
empowering.
Right.
And I loved your statement with that, and that's why I wanted to talk about it.
Thank you. Yeah, I brought everything in. It took me a second to, when you have those moments where you're like, okay, this is what I meant to do. Like, I love feeling purposeful because I've been kind of struggling with like.
But with that being said, you don't want to be no damn poster child for anything, right? You're not going to make this your mission of being some sort of
No, I mean this is
role
just
model
current because it was
for-
posted a couple days ago,
Yeah.
or else we wouldn't have brought
right.
it up.
But no, but
But-
you know, I think and again, because I want to talk about the meat and potatoes of what Parvenu is. But I can tell you one last thing on that is that I am a father of two beautiful girls, and one of the things that as a father growing up, as a growing father and watching them grow up, I became more mindful of things and situations that empowered them. I don't think as a young boy growing up, and even as a young man, did I ever realize the benefits of being a white male, if you will.
Yeah.
In a lot of aspects. So then fast forward, I get two daughters and I'm raising them. And so I became more mindful of anything or anybody that just gave them, empowered them.
Yeah.
As young girls, as young women, and even so now as grown women. Mm-hmm. Because you know what? I don't think that's necessarily the norm or even the standard in 2020 that women are made as even young girls to feel like they can do anything that a boy can do. So, you know what? I don't give a shit about weight. What I give a shit about is the fact that like women like you and Dana and Jen, you guys rock, and you put it out there to girls that we can do whatever boys can do, and sometimes even do it better. So,
I love an all-female show. Like, what was it last week? Was it last weekend?
Where we were at Bazookas.
That's a whole other story. But,
That show.
you know, 2 weeks
There's a
ago,
stripper pole in
the
here.
femme fatale
Femme fatale.
that Matthew Wilburn and
Yes.
Chris Lana and all them,
And that's what that was all about, man.
right? But now with the series you're doing, what's the furthest away you've gone so far?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville,
I had to think about that
Illinois.
for a second.
Jacksonville, Illinois, not Florida.
Yeah.
Not Florida.
Now, are you in
One
the middle
day.
of it, or are you where are you at in the series
This
now?
is the third night. Tomorrow we'll be in Springfield, Missouri, at playing at the Riff, and
Cool. That's a good venue.
That's actually a cool venue down. I've got to go
And how
there
far
once.
away will this take you? Where else are you guys going to go with this?
That'll be
full
our
package?
last show.
Yep,
That's
that'll
going to be your
show.
last.
Yeah.
And what a great idea! The whole idea of gig swapping is nothing new, but I think of taking several bands and taking it to that level to where you created a name for it. I wasn't aware until Rachel just told me. I thought it was like a standard tour and not just like weekend runs, but a branded. But you're treating it like a branded tour. What a great idea!
I thought it was a tour as well. Looking at the a tour. I guess it is. It's just with days off.
So we're calling it a series.
Yeah.
Because we were like, oh,
We didn't feel like fixing the flyer after we put it out.
I think, and it's something that, when you said that, all of a sudden I'm like, why haven't I ever thought of doing something like this? What a great idea! Because a lot
And
of
now
times,
she's going to take 50 cents off of each entry of your show.
That's actually him. He came up with that brilliant idea. So it's.
Don't give away your money.
Hey, really, so what's to stop you guys from doing this again in a few months of finding a band from St. Louis, finding a band from Des Moines, one from Omaha, and somewhere else, and doing this? What a great idea! Because realistically, a lot of times bands just can't take off and go on a 2-week tour.
Yeah.
And let's face it, to be honest with you, I have worked with bands and been out on the road, and I've helped bands book tours. Well, let's face it, you know, there's only one Friday and one Saturday.
Exactly.
And so what happens to a lot of times, if you're not out with a national act, you play dead shows Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know, so what a great idea. That is a really good idea.
It kind of came from that. Hi, everybody. I'm Ryan, if you don't know me.
Hi, Ryan. How long you been sober?
35 years.
Hey, I'm with you. 35 minutes.
The whole idea came from, like, with Many Colored Death, I've always wanted to do a show swap with them. They're friends of mine. I met them through the scene out here. They came and played from Columbia a couple times. And I just thought, man, it would be really cool to get all these bands to just commit to a run instead of having to set up a one big tour, because I've talked to people with the Nightmare tours, and me being 35 with 3 kids and a wife, I don't want to go on a road for 2 weeks. I want to hit other towns and just build stuff and build relationships, build build a network of fans to help get people exposed to other things. I mean, Many Colored Death's about to come on, and they should be a national act, in my opinion. And but they're not, because they sound more like something that came out of the '90s.
Right.
So I just want to get them exposed. So why not get a bunch of people that I think are awesome to expose? The Kursk is awesome. The Inner Outlines melts my faces every night.
This is your first series or tour
Yes.
that you've done. So whenever you go into your first one like that, how's the response been? I mean, for your band specifically, because I know each market can be different. You might have a great market here, bad market there. How's it been overall?
It's been really supportive. We've been really surprised just how well receptive we are, and it's always a risk when you go on the road.
Something that we do, we try to get crowd participation going. So I yell the hays all the time, and we sometimes teach them how to sing "Slice of Heaven," but. When I see a crowd that's never seen us before, never heard of us, nobody knows us, just get in with it, you can tell that they're vibing with us. And then when I start seeing people kind of bounce up and down, or sway back and forth to one of our slower songs, you can tell they're vibing. And I see the same thing with the regional acts out here, bands that I didn't know if they would take out here or not. There's people out there jamming. And
that's awesome.
That's the stuff that I'm all about.
And that's a big problem with shows in general, is they come see the people they want to see, and then they go on.
Yeah.
And to be able to build something like that where people are sticking around for the other bands, that's your money.
That right there, if I'm going to be completely transparent, has been my biggest fear, is that I knew Short Roads and Dead Ends would bring a legion of people because of the reputation that the musicians in that band have.
Yep.
And they would all go home afterwards, but they stayed around, and it's still
that is awesome.
You put the lineup together perfect to where I like the fact that you didn't have one of the out of town bands take that opening slot. That you put the Kansas City bands, the way you placed them was a great idea of making everyone stay around for the whole damn show.
And that's been the way it's at every stop, because the whole point isn't just, let's go play a show somewhere. It's, hey, let's make new friends, let's make new fans. And the only way that's going to happen, because I know people like to go home, is stagger the locals.
Right.
So
you did a great job. Now I want to get back to we coined your guys' music as soul rock.
Okay, so I appreciate this.
And I think that's great. Because anything good and everything good, music-wise, in my opinion, comes from the soul. Right? Mm-hmm. And if it comes from the soul, then it's going to stir the listener's soul. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
So, but I also know that Thorin brings this progressive element.
Yep.
So, a lot of times when you think of like soulful music, but then you think of progressive music, sometimes that could be like, oil and
counteractive.
vinegar.
Yeah,
but you guys make that work. How? Elaborate.
So a lot of that, I mean, when it comes to the actual songwriting process, we're open to any process with it. And some of the songs were, the original riff came from me, and then we built off that. Some of the songs came from Thorin, and a lot of our songs actually came from a melody in Rachel's head. And we wrote something like "Find My Way." That's a very soulful, jazzy, bluesy type of song. And that started with her giving us a melody, and then Thorin and I sat around and wrote stuff. When it comes to adding that progressive element, we just have this whole no boundaries kind of feel or mindset when it comes to it. So we try to find a balance to keep Rachel's vocals at the forefront, because she is what carries the band, especially to the average listener.
Right.
But then we like to have fun and give her a little bit of a break.
You know what? As I'm sitting here listening to you, I'm a music geek. I love music documentaries. I don't care if it's PBS, Loretta Lynn, or if it's Nirvana. I love
The Dirt.
I love. I just love hearing the backstories of an album or a song, which gave me a great idea. Like, maybe we should do a series of shows that, between songs, it gives bands an opportunity to do a little storytelling and talk about songs and where they came from and how they were developed.
Yeah.
With that being said, how do you find that balance? Like, as far as like not letting the music and things run away too far. You know, like I said, Thorns obviously comes from more of a progressive rock.
Right, and so do I actually.
And I know that. So how do you maintain that balance without letting it run away either direction?
We kind of sent it, Thorin sent it through my filter, because I have a fairly good grasp, and he does too, to be honest. But I have a fairly good grasp on what is easily digestible versus what takes a palette, a musical palette, as it were. And we get to the point where it's like, okay, does this make sense here? So Too Long Didn't Read, we try to serve the song.
How do you find how does a band, and Jennifer, you can chime in, how does a band find that balance of like not going completely like indulging yourself, who you are and what you are as a musician?
Dana with the bat. That's
But
how my
finding-
living.
But finding that where you're like, okay, I can't indulge myself. I gotta keep our music in the confines of what the listener is going to want, instead of completely geeking out on your own music and being like, we're going to go completely progressive and
You're gonna go completely Pink
without any
Floyd.
regards to like if the listeners like it or not. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say, having a background on radio, I kind of have developed an ear of what would be kind of like a hit. Like, I helped build the libraries and stuff. But, you know, having that background, I feel like we don't want to put any, restrictions on what song lengths, because I know we don't meet the average song length for radio.
Nope.
And
We tried.
Yeah, not at all. But I feel like we've been very expressive and very.
I think when it comes to the balance, it's just saying, okay, what's going to serve the point of the song the most? And so, like with "Find My Way," that's a fairly short song for us.
Define short.
Define short, 4 minutes.
Okay.
I think that one's actually 3.5 maybe.
Yeah.
But
average is
it also
like
has
4
a
to
very
6.
quick intro. We only go through the chord progression once. We don't have a big build, through it, and it's a very short and concise song. Where a song like "Thieves" or "Reckless," man, that's just a party song. We want people to get lost in that.
Right.
So that I think is really is. Do we want people to get lost in the meaning or just get lost in the song?
Yeah. Well.
Now, if it was going, what would Parvenu sound like if it was just your baby, to where you completely could take the ball, run with it, no one else had any say in what Parvenu sounded like? What would Parvenu sound like if it was just your baby?
Random clicks and whistles.
Electric spoons.
No, honestly, if it was just my baby, it wouldn't sound too very much different. Rachel is the vocalist I've been looking for in at least in a woman for a long time.
Thank you.
And Thorin is the guitarist I've been looking for in a long time. So my baby, it is my baby. I don't have all the say on it, but it's what I picture as my baby.
Yeah.
Right. Now, music aside, sometimes members get romantically involved with one another.
That's not happening in this band.
So, my question is,
Wow, that got shut down real fast.
I'm sorry.
You did spend a lot of time together.
Stepped all over my joke. What you guys expected was I was going to be like, are you and Rachel? No, I was going to ask if there was anything going on between you and Thorin and throw you guys way off. Get a little.
No, it's still a valid question.
Oh, we got a bromance going. It's okay.
Romances are
see it on
good.
stage.
I mean, we did share a hotel room the other night.
Now, are you guys at the point to where when you are jamming on a new idea, can you have you learned? Every band gets to that point to where it's like you can read one another's minds, your body language. You know that you can conduct the band just through body language. Are you guys at that point yet?
Not in terms of jamming. And truth be told, that's not how we write. We'll come up with a basic idea, and then one of us, Thorin or Rachel with the melody or me with the bass, will think, okay, what are we hearing in our heads, and then add from there. So like Slice of Heaven was our first song. Rachel actually came up with did the woes for me, and I came up with the dun 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 dun, dun, and then it just kind of worked out where Thorin added a part, and then I added another part, and it just all gelled after about 2 months.
Slice of Heaven.
That was the longest,
Yeah, that was the longest it ever took to write
the other
songs.
songs, easier.
All of a sudden, I'm thinking of like, I need pizza. When you say Slice of Heaven, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
thinking, I haven't eaten dinner yet. I need some pizza.
I gave you some burnt ends, man.
I know, but I ended up sharing it with the bar because they were like, "What do you got there?" I'm like,
Corey shared food. We know this is a lie now. So.
"No, I had to. There was. It was Oklahoma Joe's." So
I'm in my fasting period right now. So
We provided Oklahoma Joe's barbecue for the bands that haven't been to Kansas City yet, and we were like, oh my god.
And where are the other bands from?
Jacksonville, Illinois, Columbia, Missouri, and Springfield, Missouri.
Okay, so. When in Springfield,
you played Columbia,
what did they
right?
share with you?
Yeah, we did Saturday.
What did they give you in Springfield to be like? Here's a taste of Springfield.
No.
I don't know.
showed. Well, we haven't been to Springfield yet. That's tomorrow.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
Illinois. What did they say here?
No, I'm curious about Columbia.
So
that's a college
to
town.
answer Jacksonville, Illinois, real quick. I'll get to Illinois. Hardee's.
Hardee's.
Because that was about it.
That was it.
It was a smaller town.
Right.
Yeah,
I should have known when she said
I got
played in
Dairy
American
Queen.
Legion.
No. And honestly, it was actually really cool how they set everything up. They brought in the guys who built actually every amp you're hearing right now.
What?
I just had this vision of like whenever that college basketball team went to the White House and it was all fast food. Sorry.
So the guy who actually built every amp that you're hearing on the stage right now, he came out to Jacksonville to set up a sound. He runs sound, and it worked out really cool. Like
And an
he
American
had a
Legion,
pro light
right.
set up, and
That's awesome.
If you didn't know that you were an American Legion, nobody would be able to.
Well,
tell.
in Columbia, I suggest that what band's from Columbia?
Many Color Death, who's playing right now.
Tell me you want White Castle. I think that's.
Oh, yes.
Why didn't we get that while we were out?
You didn't get White Castle?
No, I got Korean tacos and it was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Okay,
Missouri
I got
shit.
something like that. But,
I'm hoping we'll get down there again.
I'm sorry.
We have Taco Bell. We don't have White Castle.
I'm eating keto right now, so I can't do White Castle.
Eventually.
Okay.
Eventually,
we'll
after I've
In and Out?
well, I mean, meat, animal style with no bun. Heck yeah.
But
There's just not enough meat to warrant it at White Castle.
What a burger.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So what's next for the band?
So after tomorrow night, we're probably we're going to go into writing mode. Some of you may know Thorin's having a baby.
Well, his wife is.
Yeah, his wife
Yeah.
is. Thorin will be a father by the end of next month. And so we need to give them time, but
This band sounds really good. Sorry to
They're
cut you
very
off.
good.
yes.
They're hitting it really good with me right now. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
no.
Sorry.
If the
love
podcast is over before they're over, you need to be out there.
Yeah,
They're a trio, and they
sound
rock it
amazing.
each and every time.
So when's the next show in the Kansas City area?
We don't have anything on the books yet.
You
So
should do a show with Mad Libby.
we wanted to do a show
Yeah.
with Mad Libby. We've had a couple times where it almost
we
happened.
just keep missing each other.
Yeah.
It's just that we can't get on we can't find a schedule yet, but we will.
Let's pull
Yeah,
a date
no,
to make
it'll
this
totally
happen.
It's going to come down to we're still shoring up our drummer situation. Alec has been awesome, but we're just waiting for the right guy, whether it's Alec or somebody else or
Right girl too.
right
Yeah.
girl too.
Let's play drums
If a
too.
girl steps up, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about women empowerment. We've said if a girl shows up, yes,
Definitely.
go for it.
Right on. Well,
Yeah, I've
again,
played with some awesome chick drummers before.
Yeah.
We've been talking to Parvati,
Oh, yeah.
and are you guys on Spotify?
Yes,
They are
we're
on
on
Spotify.
we're on all
Social
major
media.
streaming.
Cool.
Yeah.
Take us out with
We're going to go out with Slice of Heaven. When we come back, we're going to basically wrap this thing up. We'll recap the Cali Dreamin' and also handle some other questions that have been coming in ever since that was announced.
All right.
And I'm going to go watch Many Color Death now, guys.
All right.
Check this. What is Bleeding Color of Death?
Many Color Death.
Many Colored Death?
Yes.
Like MCD?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mickey D's. I can remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
MCD.
So, all right.
You would connect with them too.
Anyway, when we come back, we'll close this out. We'll address a couple more things and basically go home.
Here we go. Thank you guys.
Don't go away. We got one more segment. See you then.
Paid the price for your slice of heaven. It's a costly mistake. Wrapped up in sheets when I'm with you. Sing a scream I couldn't fake. I made love in the devil's den. Fell for charm and evil grin. I learned the hard way. You're just a wolf in sheepskin. Oh, I flirt with bad decisions and laugh at consequence. Don't think until it happens, then wonder the expense. I flirt with bad decisions and laugh at consequence. Don't think until it happens, then wonder the expense. I paid the price of your heaven. I made love in the devil's den. I learned the hard way. I know it's a sin. The choices you've made, it's hell you're ending. Felt the fierce heat, heavy breathing, mix the pleasure with the pain. You should know looks are deceiving, and your sin will leave a stain. I flirt with bad decisions and laugh at consequence. Don't think until it happens, then wonder the expense. I flirt with bad decisions and laugh at consequence. Don't think until it happens, then wonder the expense.
broadcasting from Aftershock Live Music Venue. It's Corey and Frank.
And I'm not on camera.
It's been a crazy night. It's been a crazy night. We've, it's not been the most ideal broadcasting situation.
But, we're still working everything out, honestly. And we're trying to find our little hole and how we're going to do this and how we're going to make it right.
Well, I think it's a fine line. Definitely, we want this to be for the musicians and for local music. And what better way to do the show while there's a live show going on? But that creates the situation of, is it too loud? Is the background noise too much?
I don't think so. I mean, I see it on the levels over here on production. But it's no different than having something in the background that you're going to have anyway.
All right, so really quick, I think a great thing to talk about as we wrap things up is let's talk about some of the things that are going to be happening with music in and around Kansas City as we head in.
Next weekend, Voodoo,
March 6th. It's March Madness with Unwritten Rules, Mad Libby. Imaginary Friends, Impart.
It's a hell of a show.
It's a great lineup.
What's the door?
$10.
$10.
$10.
So that's at
Pre-sale,
Voodoo
$10
Harris,
door.
North Kansas City.
That's right.
It's not that far of a drive, no matter where you're at in the city.
Well, what's great is you can come up, you can go on the boat, gamble a little bit, have $1. The beers are $1 on the boat.
Yep.
Not in the venue.
No.
In the venue, they get a
They
little
get a little
bit
bit more.
Right.
But they also accept cards there, so don't be afraid to spend a little bit of money. It's all
Exactly.
supporting local music, believe it or not, in one way or another.
And what's cool is afterwards, a lot of people get hotel rooms and party into the night.
Oh, we've done that. We've written the awards. We used to rent the entire floor, and it was absolutely insane.
We're talking, things that we can't talk about.
Well, no, my son's now in studio.
His son is in the studio.
But yeah, I mean, we used to rent the entire floor, and there was shenanigans that security would get off the elevator. Nope, get right back in and leave.
And thankfully, because we had the whole floor, it was like, why kick them out? They got the whole floor.
Yeah,
they're not bothering anybody.
We'll worry if there's damages tomorrow.
Right, if there were naked people running down the hallways.
And there was.
But again, we had the whole floor, So, but that's coming up. Acoustic open mic nights at Aftershock on the back outdoor patio are going to be firing up soon. We're also going to be
When's that? Like in March, early
think
April?
that we're going to fire it up 1st of April.
Okay.
Just make sure we're not working against the weather. And also on Wednesday nights, going to do karaoke nights. But, we're going to start getting California Dreaming ramped up.
Since we announced that, there's been a lot of buzz on that.
Yeah,
mainly from some of the older bands that we all know about.
Right.
But I'm seeing some of the newer bands, and I think that it's one of those things that you don't have to worry about who you're going to compete against, if you will.
Yeah, I call it more of a showcase.
It is. I'm curious to see how that's going to go. I think it's going to be really successful.
Now, definitely, I want to,
But since that's come out, we've both been hit with questions. It's like, okay, if you're launching old things, well, what about the awards? And I'm going to say it right now. That's not happening anytime soon. That's...
Well, and I think to explain, and they will happen.
They're at least a year out.
But I definitely think that where the state of local music is we're in this phase to where we need to let things play out a little bit before we start.
Well, not only that, but that's one day. Right now, we're looking at things that we can get multiple bands involved and showcase them. Put them together with bands that they don't know. And
well, I would hope that we can do an award show.
And the award show's a one-night deal. In the big picture, it's not one night of work, but it's one night. It's really not developed to do what we're trying to do right now.
No, my hopes are that come fall, that we can.
I might entertain it then, to be honest with you. But right now, I'll just say it. I have no desire right now. That's 6 months worth of work.
We can just play it by ear. Now, here we are. No rock fest.
Yeah.
Second year, no rock fest, but again, it's being put out there. Next year.
Well, this is a tough deal because we don't know the insides of it. I mean, we hear all the stuff, and we hear this and that, and there's rumors of this, rumors of that, And the fact remains is, since they did the upgrades at Liberty Memorial, that ground's off. It isn't going to happen now. So they have the Kansas Speedway. While NASCAR bought the Kansas Speedway from the private ownership this past year, that's no longer an option. Yeah, so there's multiple.
Why not pull
issues.
it back a little bit and just take it back to
Because then
sandstone?
Okay, well then you've got 17,000 cap, and
Yeah.
maybe that's even a little bit too high.
That's fine. Just put on a better show, price your ticket to where it ain't about the quantity of bands, but
Kansas
quality
City
of bands.
support that?
I think so.
You
People in Oklahoma support Rocklahoma 3-day music fest.
Yeah, but you have people coming from all across the country to that thing.
Well, you did with Rockfest as well.
Yeah, to some degree. Honestly, I'm on Intercom's side on this.
Okay, I'll tell you what my opinion is. So, we all know that Intercom just bought the rights from Cumulus
For a lot of money.
for the Kansas City Chiefs radio.
Yeah. And
right?
there's a lot of money behind
Well,
that.
that started happening last year. And so my opinion is that the reason they then started cutting back, when you're paying that kind of money, you've got all your money.
But you're also talking big corporate. And unfortunately, that is what Intercom CBS is. But I'm still on their side not to try to pull this off right now because there's no good place. If it's a 50,000 one day attendance, why scale it back to a third of that?
So you're saying that no Rockfest just purely because there's no place to put it.
You can't put the name Rockfest on
Man,
something
I
that's spelled
attended
like that.
I attended Lollapalooza at Grandview. I attended the very first Rockfest was at Longview Lake.
Look,
I attended a big show with.
And I understand that you're a promoter and you know what goes behind doing these things and the degree of difficulty to pull these off, how great that is.
It's pulled off for how many years?
I know, and that's what I'm saying. They do have a lot of corporate backing and a lot of money to back it. But if they can't do it right,
why can't they all of a sudden do it right?
well, the lack of venue, the lack of space. And not to mention, as well as anybody, the costs on these bands have gone through the roof, and that's got to get it.
And that is the truth.
And so how is it? So you have to start charging $100, $200 for a one-day festival, where you can go on the early bird, granted, for $250 for the weekend with camping at Rocklahoma. So I mean, you're starting to get into a price range that gets dangerous.
Well, people pay for Rocklahoma, and it's success every year. So,
But once again, $250 for 3 days versus $200 for a one day. So, I mean, I know I'm playing devil's advocate here, but until the touring market gets under control, I don't know how you pull it off. One, with lack of venue in Kansas City, and two, just the ticket costs to cover.
Mammoth pulls off this great thing every year called the beer thing down in the West Bottoms, down by Kemper Arena. It's happened every year. I'm failing to remember what they call it, but it happens every year, and they block basically the whole West Bottoms off. There's several stages, vendors, and it works. I don't believe for a second that it's a lack of finding the right space.
Well, but then you're getting creative, and let's face it, corporate is not creative, and that's what Rockfest is.
I mean,
they want something that they could put up fences, they can control access, they can control. It's just not. It's not within the realm of feasibility. Looking at it from a corporate perspective, I'm not saying. You're talking Mammoth. You're talking a local promoter that works really good with DSS to pull this stuff off as well, and they're willing to take that risk. They're local. This money's coming from New York. So they're not so apt to take that kind of risk to invest $4 million into a one-day festival that might or might not happen.
But you know what? Truthfully speaking, do you care that Rockfest isn't happening?
No, because I'm just going to look for the other festivals.
When was the last time you went?
I'm just going to look at Aftershock out in California, or Rockfest up in Illinois, or Rocklahoma in Oklahoma. I mean, I'll just look for another festival to go and see a whole bunch of people in one place.
Now, do you think that I don't see anymore, and maybe it's because I've gotten older.
But it is something that Kansas City has had for 20 plus years, and now we don't. So there is that shock.
No,
to
and
it.
I think that is, traditions die hard, and I think that's the deal. I mean, I can tell you, as a true music fanatic, I would rather go out to a 3-4 band bill with 4 solid bands that I really want to hear, and I'll pay more for that.
Yeah, that's
than to
$100
go to a
ticket
3-day
by
music
itself.
fest with a bunch of crap bands,
Rocklahoma's not crap bands, though.
No, I didn't say that.
I know. I'm just pointing that out.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and
maybe sometimes those festivals, that's what it becomes.
that's like
it becomes.
For example, when Poison, Cheap Trick, and Pop Evil came through Sprint Center.
Right.
Those are 3 good bands. I liked all 3 of them until I saw Cheap Trick live, but that's a whole other story.
And they didn't sell it out.
No, they had the whole upper level closed. It was just lower level.
Yeah.
It was sad, but I tell you what, Pop Evil destroyed every band up there.
They were good.
Yeah, they were real good. So, and I didn't expect that.
With that being said, you know what? Congrats. They had a good run. And pulling a big festival like that off.
It sucks that we're losing it.
And it does suck, to be honest. Because, see, even though I haven't gone in a long time, my son's finally at an age where he would go. And I would take him just so he could go.
In full disclosure, we've had our ins and outs with Intercom. And, each of us think we're right, whatever. It is what it is. But the end-all, be-all of this is that was something Kansas City had.
Yeah.
And it really sucks that it's
gone.
It's gone. That's all it comes down to. But now I'm just looking to other places for other festivals.
Well, you know
what?
what?
I mean, in the end, it's really not,
Now, things change, things happen, and I guarantee you there's change in the air, and so be it. All right, Frank, let's wrap this up.
Next week, what are we going to try? Thursday for once?
When is the 6th? Is that Friday?
It's a Friday.
So, yeah, we're going to have to go Thursday, and let's do let's make it a March Madness
a special?
special.
A special? Okay, we can do that. So
we'll try to get some of the bands that are going to be on the bill.
we're gonna
come
need
down.
to open the venue up for
Probably.
people that'll probably be here.
So-
if we can pull that off, we'll see if we can't get the venue open so we can actually have some people here, and maybe put some stuff out there and actually talk to people.
I think that's a great idea.
So
what we'll do is plan on us having as many of the artists that are going to be playing next weekend at the Voodoo on the March 6th March Madness show. Again, Unwritten Rules, Mad Libby, Imaginary Friends, Impart, and Jillian Risco and their new band, The Wannabes.
there you go. I was waiting. I was gonna leave you hanging.
With one E.
I'm a dick like that.
With
One E.
So
Not to be
Thursday, 7 to 9 is when we're tentatively scheduled for now. We've been horrible with schedules lately, but we're gonna try to hit this one since we have the show on Friday.
And so those bands I just mentioned, if you need a ticket, hit them up.
Project Slam. See you next week.
Later on.